Hi everyone, my name is Diani-Kenya from Kenya. I'm a youth champion at Social Disability Services Kenya. So basically, I champion for the rights of persons with disability on matters sexual reproductive health and rights. Yes, we started with the caravan, which was a long journey, but also a nice experience, collecting the youth voices. But then my observation was, yes, we are making steps and we are moving forward. But there still exists a number of gaps, especially when we collected the youth voices and just to get to know what is the experience of other young people, for example, who did not get a privilege or an opportunity to be part of this conference that we are having as young people. The conference has been good. I've learned a lot, getting to learn all scientific, abstract, and getting to learn from every different aspect and coming up with the different themes that were there. It has been a nice experience, but then I'm feeling like there is a gap on the same, where yes, we have young people presenting abstract, but for me as a young person with disability, I'll want to see it more of the stories of young people, their lived stories. Like what is it that, for example, Vilda, who is a young person with disability, is experiencing when you talk about localization of the global AY SRHR. And then there's still a big gap when it comes to inclusion of persons with disability. I look at it as an aspect of we are not embracing intersectionality, where as a young person, we have other intersecting factors that comes with being a young person. Like I'm a person with disability, but disability is not the only thing that defines me as a person. There are a number of other factors. So my takeaway from the conference is, can we deliberately bring young persons with disability in the conference? For example, I think I'm among, I can't be like the only young person who is having disability in this conference. Disability are so unique. I cannot represent any other young person with disability. So if you have a number with different kinds of disability, because as a person with physical disability, my experience is not the same as somebody who has a hearing impairment, the same with somebody who has a challenge with the eyesight. So at the same time, we have hidden disabilities like the ones you can't see. So my experience is not the same, and I cannot represent the voices of all young persons with disability. So I believe that we can do it, and if we come together and just making an intentional thing to bring about inclusion in everything that we do, it will make it a better place for everybody. And yes, intentionally leaving no one behind. Thank you.
Okay, hi, my name is Valerie Nasikuloloju. I go by a couple of identities. I work as a project officer in a youth-led, women-led organization, which means 100% of our operations are implemented by young people below the age of 35. I currently run the Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights Program. I am also an upcoming SRHR expert. I'm doing my master's in sexual reproductive health, and what I'm looking forward to is having a cut niche in the family planning field. So we are here at the 6th Reproductive Health Network Conference that has been held by the Reproductive Health Network Kenya, and we as the Marphologiya Initiative, a youth-led organization, partnered with the Reproductive Health Network to flag off the youth caravan that was stopping over along 3 different counties to implement different SRHR interventions, looking to just increase the uptake of SRHR services amongst young people. So when you look at the commitments, for example, the FP 2030 commitment, which promises to drive equitable partnerships between young people and adult-led organizations, what I would want to say is, since the beginning of Reproductive Health Network reaching out to the Marphologiya Initiative and partnering to flag off the youth caravan, that was already localization of a global commitment made by the FP 2030. And going through all these sessions, I have seen a lot of meaningful youth engagement, especially from partners that have previously made commitments around meaningful youth participation. You could hear a lot of amazing insights from the young people representing these different organizations, which clearly shows that there is a gap between young people who have been empowered and have been put on the decision-making table and young people who have not been empowered. And as we are looking to finalize and round up the Reproductive Health Network Conference, we're going to have a youth communique at the end of the day. So the young people are just asking what's next after the conference. How are we looking to hold the RHNK Reproductive Health Network accountable? Are we coming next year to repeat the same things, or we're looking to come next year and actually have an accountable mechanism for the Reproductive Health Network?
My name is Diko Janet Isaac. I am from South Sudan and I am a Bili Now champion from South Sudan. So Bili Now is a movement of young people who are in charge of their bodies, their cultures and their destiny. In South Sudan is one of the youngest countries with most challenges, from socio-economical to sexual reproductive health issues. So as a young person from South Sudan who is passionate about the rights of young people, about their reproductive health, this conference has impacted me with so many solutions, with so many innovative solutions. Like my interaction with most of the young people in Kenya has really made me realize that there are so many things that I can do as an individual or we can do. So under the theme that we had for this conference was localization of the solutions that we have. So one of my key takeaways is that, giving young people the spaces. Like you find from the country that I come from, they normally tell us, the future belongs to youth, the future belongs to the young people and all these kind of things. But this conference has impacted me that there's need for us to give spaces to these young people. And by giving spaces to these young people, we're able to engage in a meaningful youth discussion. Youth-led organizations and initiatives are able to prosper. This is when young people are given their spaces. But not tokenism where, as a young person, you're asked, go and do this, go and say this. So these are the key takeaways that I've been able to learn. And then I've also been able to see like how Kenya has been transforming from one state to another until this far that they've come. Like in this conference, this is the 6th annual Reproductive Health Conference that is organized in Kenya. And it was really a great pleasure to be part of this conference because most of the things that I've learned, I'm going to put them into consideration and I'm going to see how I can integrate some of the solutions into the context of my country, South Sudan.
Hello, my name is Rita Anindo Obonyo. I'm the Youth Project Coordinator, Reproductive Health Network Kenya, and I served as the co-chair of the RHNK Annual Scientific Conference on Adolescents and Young People. I co-chaired with FP 2030, and I would say that this has been an amazing journey, especially for the caravan that we moved from Nairobi to Diani, passing through Kajiado, Emali, Mombasa, and within these stops we are providing sexual reproductive health information and listening to community members on what challenges they're experiencing in accessing sexual reproductive health. Particularly, some of the voices we had were issues of poverty, and period poverty was an issue. I remember at some point we had to buy sanitary towels and they were still not enough because girls coming and they wanted sanitary towels and we could not provide them enough of them. We also had instances where people would tell us that they have to pay 400 shillings for transport for them to be able to access healthcare services, and most of the time if they are told to choose either sexual reproductive health or buy food because of the high prices of things, then they have to choose to survive, and that really presented a challenge to us. Indeed, it's been great to even have leaders who committed to advance sexual reproductive health. We had the governor of Kwale County, who is a woman. We also had the deputy governor of Kajiado County, who had a lot of political goodwill and committed to advancing the rights of adolescents and young people. I would like to pass my special thanks to the following partners for helping us actualize this conference. I would like to thank FP 2030, the Netherlands Embassy, Danida, IPAS, UNFPA, grassroots organizations such as Stretchers Kenya, among others. Thank you so much. This, you coming, you showing your willingness to work together with RHNK really means a lot for adolescents and young people. And my special thanks to the organization I work for, Reproductive Health Network Kenya. I know it's not been easy, but we've done this. It's not been easy for us to actualize the conference, but the commitment to have this conference annually, to have an opportunity where we can share best practices and we can share learnings from our intervention really means a lot in terms of driving evidence-based interventions and documenting best practices. Thank you so much.